Hey everybody, and welcome inside the first edition of the Marauders Magazine. I'm your host, Joel Godett. We'll be with you here throughout the 2011 season, going behind the scenes, in the stands, in the dugout, and out on the field with the Bradenton Marauders, the Pittsburgh Pirates minor league team right here in Manatee County. Some really cool stuff on tap for our spring training edition today. Last season's manager, PJ Forbes, will stop by, talk about his ascension up to manage AA Altoona this year. And Quincy Latimore on the show today, Marauders fan favorite. Huge season last year, played his off-season baseball in Australia, so a lot of cool things to get to with Q. And finally, we'll head out on the field, follow around a former Marauder in Jeff Locke. He's in his first major league camp. Locke mic'd up on the show. But first, we sit down with Trevor Gooby, the Pirates Senior Director of Florida Operations, talk a little bit about what goes into this whole spring training production. That's next. Stick around. And we're here now at our Pirate Cities facility, and we're joined by the man that makes everything that goes on here possible. It's the Senior Director of Florida Operations for the Pittsburgh Pirates, Trevor Gooby. Tell me what's going on here right now. A whole lot of stuff, a whole lot of hectic stuff. What's this month kind of like from an administrative standpoint?
It's funny because we joke in the office that every day is a Monday, and it's Groundhog's Day, and every day is the same. You get here early in the morning, 5:30, 6 in the morning, and you're here late at night. And it's just constantly doing things. We have people here from Pittsburgh. We have, right now we have about 75 players that are here in big league camp. We're expecting another 150 minor league players here in the next week. Every single department from Pittsburgh's down, and they just invade Pirate City here. And it's great, though. It's the best time of year. I mean, it really is a lot of fun, and every day's there's a lot going on, but there's different projects throughout the day. Today I've already been out on the field a couple times. Our manager spoken to the team, dealing with the clubhouse guys. I mean, dealing with the fields. I mean, it's just a lot of fun talking to fans, and it's the best time of year where everyone starts the year fresh, and it's just a great way to kick off the year.
It's kind of an open-ended question, but kind of like a spring training guide for idiots almost. I mean, what is spring training? I mean, people think it's the games and people just show up and play every day, but you talked about some of it. There's a lot more that goes into that, both behind the scenes and on the field.
Right. Spring training is really a time when the players get down here and get to know each other. It's also a chance for all the front office, like myself, to get to know who our players are going to be. For example, we have the scoreboard guys down here right now doing videos for all those neat intros that you see when now batting. You see those players at PNC Park. They shoot all those down here. We have all the baseball card companies coming tomorrow to do all their baseball card photos. I mean, so there's all the things that take place in the season start here in Bradenton. And it's just really, there's a lot of practices here at Pirate City. We have a great facility. Our guys eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner here every morning or every day. And they live here, they train here. It's just it's really a neat way to kick off the year, and it's a lot of fun. I love my job, but this is the time of year that I really love it the most. And it is a lot of work, but it's real rewarding when you see these guys out on the field. And I joke that one of my favorite days of the year is when they paint the foul poles. And I don't know why people would say that's a great day, but that's one of my favorite days because it's the start of getting everything going. So I love it, and if people haven't been here, it's definitely a great way to get over here to Pirate City, to get autographs, see the guys up close and personal. Like, we have a couple hundred people here today, and when can you actually be around and watch batting practice with only a couple hundred people? McKechnie still is small, but it's still 6,500 people. So Pirate City is a great way to be able to get autographs and really see the intricacies of baseball, and they're practicing bunting, and they're practicing throwing a curveball, and they're practicing, a pickoff, and it's those type of things where it's just great activity.
Tell me a little bit too about your new duties for this year as well. You're kind of the general manager for the Bradenton Marauders for this summer too.
Right.
So you've got a whole nother season to deal with, and a lot of cool stuff coming up with that.
Definitely. And I love the Bradenton Marauders. We're really excited about our second year. Right when spring training ends, we start gearing up for the Marauders. They open up April 8th. And we've learned a lot from year one, and now we can add to some of the great successes that we had last year. So we're looking at some really fun promotions for fans. We're adding an all-you-can-eat night, which will be a lot of fun on Wednesdays. That should be really fun. I know people will definitely enjoy that. We're looking at a lot of fun promotions, a Mardi Gras promotion.
Cinco de Marty?
Cinco de Marty. We're also looking at one of my favorites, a wrestling night. So we're going to have some real wrestling matches on the field, and hopefully maybe we can get our radio broadcaster to go down there, and then we'll give you a couple chairs.
I was going to say, if I use the chair, then I'm okay with that.
So we're looking for a lot of fun, and hopefully we have a good team. We don't know who the players are yet, but we're looking for a lot of fun and excitement, fireworks, and those kind of things. So it's great. Minor league baseball, it was one of the best things I think that was able to get added last year. I have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old, and it was really cool to be able to come and take them to a ballpark, and they love eating hot dogs and watching the mascot, and they started to learn a little bit about the game and being able to cheer on some of their favorite players. And when I get home, they would say, "Hey, what happened to Tony Sandwich?" Because they didn't know his name was Tony Sanchez. They thought it was Tony Sandwich. So it was a lot of fun, though, and we're looking for a great second year, and it's going to be great. We're really excited about it.
It's the Pirates Senior Director of Florida Operations and the General Manager for the Bradenton Marauders, Trevor Gooby. And like you said, we don't know necessarily the names of the players for this season, but we do know them from last year. Our manager, PJ Forbes, will join us still coming up. Quincy Latimore will sit down with us as well. A lot more to come. Trevor, appreciate the time.
No problem, Joel. No problem. And again, we look forward to seeing everyone out at the ballpark for spring training and the Marauders. And thanks for being such great supporters of Pirate baseball.
PJ and Quincy coming up next here on the Marauders Magazine.
And the pitch is swung on and drilled out toward deep left field. Susdorf at the wall, and it's out of here. Quincy Latimore walks off with a mammoth blast.
Welcome back to the first edition of the Marauders Magazine here at Pirates Spring Training. We turn our attention backwards before we look forwards, though. We're joined by last year's manager for the Bradenton Marauders. It's PJ Forbes. A nice promotion for you. So the first time we get to congratulate you on heading up to AA and going to Altoona. Just tell me what it's like as a manager. A lot of people look at the minor leagues as players, but as managers, you guys are all trying to move up too.
Oh, it's a nice reward. Great season last year in Bradenton. Didn't finish quite the way we wanted to. Wins and losses wise with the playoffs and all, but excited, looking forward to this year and taking some guys with us that developed last year along with me.
Take a look back at last year for me, just in terms of how that team kind of developed. You started with a group of guys that Luis Aguayo from Palm Beach said had the most major league prospects of anybody, position player-wise, and within 3 months it was completely different. You had 7 new guys in the lineup, and yet there was no drop-off. You just kind of plugged guys in and kept on winning.
I think that's a testament to the depth of the organization and guys seizing opportunity. The disappointing part of all of it was guys like Jeremy and Tony and Brock losing time on the field. That's probably the most disappointing part of it all, losing that development time with those guys. But excited about what the guys did. They got a chance to step in and play every day, and probably most excited about what our pitching staff did the second half, as they basically carried us. And as we move forward, looking forward to taking the next step with those guys and moving to Altoona with them and watching them continue that development.
It has to excite you too as a coach and as somebody who works in player development when you can see the fact that you won a championship in Lynchburg, that you got to the playoffs in Bradenton, that Altoona won a championship this past year, that you're building things up from the bottom up and you're moving these prospects up together, and you're not that far away from getting them to where they want to be and hopefully having success up top.
Yes, and that's again, that's a credit to scouting. And then development continuing what the scouting started. What we're trying to build here is a championship organization throughout. Obviously, it means the most winning championships at the major league level. Hopefully, we'll continue to push toward that. I know we are. Listening to Clint talk and the new major league staff. Excited about all that, but moving forward with the past few drafts and the arms we brought in, the athleticism we brought in, it's exciting time to be a part of Pittsburgh Pirate baseball.
I want to touch on a couple of guys individually that you were able to see last year, and you already mentioned Tony Sanchez. Lost half the year because of the injury, but what did you see from him developmentally from where he started to when he finished, considering it was his first full season?
Well, for me, the most important thing is he learns to develop a rapport with pitchers, calling games, reading swings, and just getting a good feel for the game. Obviously, how you call a game is going to change every advancement you make, but watching him take ownership of the pitching staff as we got to mid-season, big disappointment losing him, so he couldn't continue that. Would like to have seen him be in AA at some point last year. But that was the biggest thing, watching him continue that relationship and taking ownership of that pitching staff.
How's he looked here in big league camp? It's his second camp, not missing a beat?
I've watched him in some early work drills and a couple times behind the plate with the live BP. As good as always behind the plate, just quiet, soft. It's got to make pitchers feel good to have him back there, and excited to see him back on the field.
Quincy Latimore, another guy that Bradenton fans selfishly hope we get again, but we know that's not likely. You're going to probably have him in Altoona. 100 RBI last year, came through in every clutch situation. You saw the power develop a little bit. What's left for him at this point in his next two levels that you'd like to see him hone in on?
I'd like to see him be a little more selective at the plate and recognize what pitchers are trying to do with him. I think he got tired a little bit toward the end of the year, got off his legs a little bit with his at-bats, struck out a little more than I'd like to have seen him strike out. Obviously, he's going to strike out, but let's make the pitcher strike him out as opposed to himself getting himself out. Taking ownership of that plate and being aware of his at-bats and what each situation means and when it presents itself to execute. So I think cleaning up that, he'll be ready to take the next step beyond AA.
You've been on the playing side of things too, so what's it like for him now? He finished the season with the Marauders, went to Instructs, went to Australia, finished in Australia, which is half a world away, about a week ago. He has about a week and a half off. He comes right back to spring training. Just being able to endure that and be able to keep your stamina up and produce and keep your mind focused. I mean, legitimately playing year round.
Well, that's something we'll monitor here in spring training, knowing how long he went throughout the season. And then second, we'll find out mentally about Quincy Latimore. He's going to tell us mentally as we watch him go through drills and early part of spring training where he's at. Mentally as well as physically. So those will be some key things for us to watch. Obviously, wanting him to be peaking as we go into April.
Take a look back overall, and we can wrap up on this note. First season in Bradenton, first year there's a team in Bradenton. How did you feel about coming on down here and playing a full summer in the heat and playing a full summer with a fan base that grew as it went along? And what's kind of going on here with this team starting up?
Well, I think it's exciting. I enjoyed it. A great atmosphere for the kids to work in over there with the backfield, being able to get extra work back there while we take a little heat off the main field. It's a long season with the weather and all. Watch how guys endured that. You can learn a lot from weather and all that. Like we'll learn a lot in early April this year up in Altoona. So there's a lot to be taken from it, but overall I thought it was awesome. Hearing they put in basically a brand new field over there will be great. I think that'll alleviate some of the drainage problems that they had over there, and Carlos will do an outstanding job with the second year over there.
It's PJ Forbes, the manager for the 2010 Marauders. Before we let you go real quick too, I've got to tell you, went home in the off season and went through a box of old game programs from growing up as a kid. And I opened up, I think, a 2002 Scranton Wilkesboro Red Barons program. And I'm looking back at Chase Utley and everything. I turned to the front. PJ Forbes was in there. So I got a good chuckle at that. It was a great season having you down here. Really appreciate it. And best of luck. Ride the roller coaster for me in Redfield.
I'll do that. Thanks, Joel.
Thanks, PJ. We continue next on the Marauders Magazine.
You can catch the Marauders all season long, all 140 Marauders games on the radio in 2011. Just tune to 1280 AM WTMY, your home for the Marauders. Join Joel Godett before first pitch for the On Deck Show, inside interviews, analysis, and more. Then don't miss a pitch. Stick around to hear the Marauders hit the field. That's all season long. 1280 AM WTMY, the talk station, and your home for Marauders baseball.
Welcome back to the Marauders Magazine as we continue to take a look back at the 2010 season and take a look into the offseason and spring training. A whole lot to cover on this show, and we continue to do that with one of the fan favorites from last year. It's the double deuce, Quincy Latimore, who for some reason swung getting the double deuce in spring training too. You were joking with guys coming out here. They just know it's catching on.
Oh, well, I've worn 22 since Go Coast, so Pat was the equipment manager, Mark, and all those guys, so they just make sure I have it. So I mean, it's pretty cool.
Pulling the right strings.
Yeah.
You kind of caught on last year. You kind of became like a folk hero in some sense, more than just being Quincy Latimore. I mean, the double deuce kind of took on a life of its own, and statistically, you backed that all up. Is it kind of surreal looking back at it now, just statistically, the season that you had last year?
It's just, It was a lot of hard work and stuff starting to come together, you know, the way that I've been wanting it to. And I said I couldn't have picked a better time. Like I said, a brand new team, you know, brand new fans, and our first time in Florida State League and us having a big year. So it all just went hand in hand together, you know, a great team, a great season. So everything just went well, a great nickname, thanks to the announcer. So, you know, it all worked out well, man.
19 home runs, 100 RBI. I mean, developmentally, I know there's stuff for you to do. What do you have to do to improve on that?
You know, really, you know, the production and power and the RBIs and all that stuff, you know, that's going to continue to get better. What I need to do is cut down on my strikeouts, you know, putting the ball in play more. And, you know, putting the ball in play more is more RBIs, man, on third instead of striking out, you know. So it all, when I say it just works together. Cut down on my swing, stand through the middle of the field more instead of getting, you know, too pull happy at times whenever I'm having a lot of success. You know, I try to do more instead of just, you know, staying with what I'm doing. Sometimes less is more, and I don't understand that at times. But it's coming. It's really coming along. It's really coming along.
You've had an interesting year compared to a lot of the guys that are in that clubhouse, too, because they finished their season, they came to Instructs, they went home, they maybe played a little winter ball.
Yeah.
You finished your season, you went to Instructs, you flew halfway around the world, you played in Australia, you got back 2 weeks ago,
yeah,
and then you're back here playing baseball. It's been a whirlwind for you.
It has been. You know, I hadn't spent much time home. It's been playing a lot of baseball, but you know, really good experience. I played in Australia the first season in the Australia Baseball League, and you know, we had a good time. We played well. We lost in the championship in Game 3. I had a good season. I was able to produce and actually hit for a good average, and you know, at the same time, you would like to have some time off, but you know, the more you do something, the better you get at it. So, you know, I was fortunate to get the amount of at-bats that I got and the reps and stuff. So it's going to be good at the end.
How's the game different over there? It's funny from our perspective because we read the game stories and the press releases, and just the way that they word it, the game is different. Was it different from your perspective in terms of the fans and the way that everything was kind of perceived?
You know, just some of the things they say, you know, they say it a little different. Say the coaching staff, they'll say, you know, this round, let's work the center right gap. Instead of, you know, here we'll say the right center gap, and They say the same thing, the center left. And you know, they just say things a little different. But as far as the game, they play hard. You know, they have great passion for the game. They really appreciate it. And, you know, the guys I played with, they welcomed me, you know, from the first day, and we really were able to bond together. And like I said, have a really good season. You know, too bad we lost in the championship, but, you know, we made it there and could have easily won, you know, but just the ball didn't fall our way that day, so it's just the way it goes.
Quick hits. Did you see the Opera House?
No, I didn't. When we went to Sydney, they went on a trip, and I didn't know they were going that morning.
They left
so
you
I was
out?
in the bed, so I missed it. But
Did you get to the Outback?
no, that was too far up.
Kangaroos?
Yes.
You did?
Kangaroos, koalas, wombats, you name it. I saw all of that. I went out to Wildlife Park.
Gotcha.
And took a lot of pictures and stuff. And it was pretty neat. You know, they're a lot bigger than you think they are. Yeah.
Has the vocabulary expanded too? Are there Australian words?
You know,
and
I have a
terms?
little Australian lingo that I like to use. Instead of saying, "How you doing, Joel?" they would say, "How you going, mate?" And
These guys
you know,
laugh at you when you say that in the clubhouse?
a couple of them, but you know, you have Dylan Child,
Sure.
Jarrett Sullivan, and a couple more young guys that signed not too long ago, Wilson Lee and Jackson Lodge. They'll be over here pretty soon. So they've been hearing it some. But you know, I just love, like I said, they're real outgoing and friendly, and you know, some of the things they say, you know, I have to ask them, say that again, because it's, you know, I don't know what they mean once they explain it to me, but you know, the way they say it is it's like backwards almost.
Last thing for you, 2011, hopefully as a member of the Altoona Curve, much to the chagrin of Marauder fans, but sum up 2011 for Quincy Latimore will be what?
Another good season, another productive year. You know, I just want to help my team win again. You know, they won the Eastern League last year, so hopefully, you know, we can do it again. I'm still yet to win a championship as a professional, so you know, you got to learn to win here before we can win in Pittsburgh, and it's starting. Like I said, that Lynchburg team going together, winning in the Eastern League, and you know, us making it to the playoffs last year. You know, still having a winning season and all. Like I said, we're learning to win. and hopefully we carry it on and continue to go and have another outstanding 2011, Joel.
Quincy, thank you so much.
No problem, man.
That's Quincy Latimore of the 2010 Marauders, and we will continue with more Marauders Magazine next. 1 ball and 2 strikes, 2 outs in the inning, and the pitch. Inside corner, he got him looking. Kroll slams the door in the 9th. It's a long road to the major leagues, and along that road, there's a lot of different pit stops. The first of those, or maybe the most important of those, is making it to your first major league spring training. It can be an exciting thing. It can make a player wide-eyed. It can make a player bushy-tailed. And Jeff Locke is going through that experience for the first time in his career here in 2011. And he's mic'd up and taking us along for the ride.
Are you mic'd up?
There you go, dude. He's not mic'd up.
You're not mic'd up.
He's mic'd up here.
It doesn't matter if you're big league camp for the Yankees, Red Sox, Pirates. It's all the same. You know, you get an opportunity to work with guys who do this for a living. That's the highest peak, and it's definitely an honor to be invited. Honor to be here with these guys and just pick their brains a little bit.
Based on the work he had done, based on what we think his upside can be, you know, it easily became a no-brainer for us that Jeff needed to be protected. And again, part of it's a testament to his talent and his abilities, but part of it's a testament to, you know, what he's done to this point.
It's had a lot of fun. Getting to hang around all the older guys and learn some things from them, and just watch the way they go about their business. You know, obviously, I'm here with a lot of guys that are my own age. It's a lot of our first big league camp together, so we're all very excited, pushing each other, and just see what happens for us.
2 Eggos.
Oh, you made it?
No, I made it.
Right.
With a sausage patty, like a sandwich. Sandwich. And cheese.
Waffle sandwich?
Monterey Jack cheese.
Was it Eggos?
Yeah, Eggos with a bread.
When I first saw him, I just thought he's a left-hander, a young left-hander. He's got some good stuff, but he's not quite there yet.
Every single day, you're just kind of trying to pick up one little thing and get a little better at. You know, for me, obviously, I threw a live BP today, and some things I got to work on personally, and you know, some things I picked up from watching other guys today too. So it'll be a progress.
Set your feet, throw the ball over the bag, not to the shortstop, not to the second baseman. They'll be there. Throw the ball over to the bag.
I think there's continued maturation, both on and off the field, just continuing to grow, take ownership of his career, you know, do what he needs to do, not just at our direction, but start to take some self-ownership of that. And then I think basically we're talking about refinement of some things. He's got 3 pitches. He needs to continue to refine his delivery to execute those consistently.
You know, he's starting to figure out, hanging around the other guys, watching them, and he's starting to emulate them a little bit, which is really good.
Minor league camp's so long and tiring and stressful, and 800 guys running around like crazy. So this is a little bit more laid-back atmosphere.
It's 24 hours, like Ed TV.
What are you doing on Dusty Brown's locks of hair?
What it be, baby?
But it was time to work. Guys work hard. Guys get a lot of the work in. Everyone pushes each other. It doesn't matter if you're 35 years old or 19. Everyone's out here working hard, and everyone's got the same mentality. Did you already throw?
Yeah, we just threw. Ready.
So you're done early today, right? But you got here at 6:30, so it doesn't matter.
He's becoming more disciplined in what he does on the side, repeating his delivery, not trying to manipulate the pitches, executing his pitches, and being consistent and getting a good routine. And he's doing a real good job right now.
But a lot of that comes down to that self-ownership and not just responding to the challenges we give him, but know what he needs to do and go do it.
You know, you don't try to fit in, you don't try to stand out, you just try to be yourself, and everything else take care of itself.
Anybody in this camp could be a big leaguer. You know, big league camp, you're almost there. You know, so it's just you know, many are picked, but only few are chosen, and you've got to be one of those that are chosen.
And that's a wrap on the first Marauders Magazine. Make sure to join us back here next month. We'll talk all about the opening of the season and introduce you to the new crop of rising stars at McKechnie Field. If you want to find out more information about the Marauders, go to our website anytime, BradentonMarauders.com. But for now, it's my turn to walk the plank. See you back here next time.